This is Sherbrooke Forest in the Dandenong Ranges, and it's only about an hour from Melbourne CBD, but we might as well have stepped back in time because this is a part of an ancient Australia, a really old Australia. It's temperate rainforest, which is probably no surprise that it's raining and it's really cold. But Australia around 25 to 30 million years ago was covered in this stuff. The continent got really dry, really hot, and that's the Australia that we know today. But these patches hang on in southeastern Australia, places like Victoria and Tasmania. And we're here because in this really ancient sort of ecosystem is a very ancient bird, a sort of a living fossil. It's the superb lyrebird. So most people that have heard of a superb lyrebird or a lyrebird have heard of it because of its ability to mimic. It can copy the sounds that it hears, and it's very good at doing that. They're known to mimic more than 20 species of bird in their natural range. They've been known to mimic chainsaws, car alarms, even the sound of camera shutters. The other thing that they're known for is their amazing tail plumage. So the males have these incredibly attractive tails. You've got really great soil here, and because of that, we have the tallest flowering plants in the world on Melbourne's doorstep, the mountain ash. You can only get this tall when you have a really fertile environment. So if you look around at the soil here, the leaf litter, it's really rich. It's deep, it's moist, there's lots of goodies in there, and it's this kind of forest floor that the superb lyrebird loves. We've seen a male lyrebird here, he's having a scratch around, and that's what they do most of the time, for most hours of the day. They turn over so much leaf litter and soil that we call them ecosystem engineers, because they actually recycle all this nutrients from these decomposing leaves. They pack it under the soil, goes back into the environment. Now, the other benefit that has for a forest like this is it reduces fuel load for bushfires. And these forests only like to see a fire, a big fire, about once a century. So it's really important. These birds are doing a really important job for the vegetation and everything else that lives here. If we have a look at what he's been working on, he's thrown all of this bark and leaf litter out of the way, and he'll do that for another little while. Then he'll return to his mound or his stage, and he'll put a call out to females. And what he wants them to do is to come and look at his plumage. So his idea is to get them in close with his amazing song, his ability to say, hey, look at all these things I can mimic, I'm pretty cool. They come in and he does a wonderful dance, a bit like a peacock, and hopefully gets a chance at passing on his genes. As he ran past us here, he kind of popped the wings out a bit like a chicken, like he was quite unsure, should I fly, can I fly? They can fly, and it surprises people when they do, but they roost in trees overnight, and that's probably how they've managed to avoid a lot of predation from foxes and cats. When Europeans first came to Australia, we referred to them as brown pheasant. They're not a pheasant at all. What they are is a passerine. Doesn't mean much to many people, but that basically means a songbird, or more accurately, a perching bird. And they're called perching birds because they have 3 toes at the front and they've got 1 toe at the back, and that's opposable, so they can hold on to things. Most birds in the world, more than 50% of species, are perching birds. They're a massive order of birds, and the lyrebird is one of the earliest ancestral forms of these birds. When we talk about them being ecosystem engineers, probably a better way of thinking about them is like the gardeners of the forest, and you can see all the work that boy has been doing around here. It's like someone's come through with a rake and just raked over all the leaf litter in the soil. So you can see how rich this soil is, all this topsoil that he's digging through to try and find things to eat. Generally, there's little conflict between male lyrebirds. A bit of chasing, a bit of playful banter maybe. If a male lyrebird steps onto another male lyrebird's mound, all hell breaks loose. So this is the kind of thing that we'll see in a temperate rainforest. These enormous mountain ash, they do fall, they come crashing down. There's two here, one's taken out the other. But because it's so fertile, you also get this almost instantaneous adoption of fungi all over the wood, breaking that up, returning it to the earth. As this breaks down, it becomes smaller logs and branches. Your lyrebirds come through, tip that over, and keep packing it down into the earth. It's a big recycling plant in many ways, this kind of ecosystem. It wasn't so long ago that we were really scared that we were actually going to lose this species because of the destruction of their habitat. We've managed to preserve places like this and they've rebounded. But they still face threats from things like foxes and cats, but more importantly, climate change. We know that our mountainous areas in Victoria are burning more and more. We know that climate change is going to dry out parts of our country. If these forests dry out, there goes the habitat for our lyrebirds. There goes the food that they need. We've seen them scratching around in that wet soil, in that moist leaf litter. That's what they need. That's what everything in this forest relies on. It relies on the rain. It relies on being moist and fertile all year round. Because of that, we need to appreciate these places and we need to appreciate the amazing wildlife that call them home and do our best to protect them and give them the best chance for the coming decades.